Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are talking about 10 palettes that I almost bought but didn't. I saw this first on, I think it was NYX page, so I'll link her video, and I think I saw Baddie Bing do it as well, so I'll link their videos if you're interested in seeing other people's thoughts about this. But these are essentially palettes that I almost bought, like had them in the cart and for one reason or another did not buy them. So if that sounds interesting to you, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you haven't already, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I upload twice a week. It's totally free to subscribe and I would love to have you back again on the channel. Alright, let's get into these palettes. So I know somebody in particularly, I'm sure you weren't trying to be shady, but in my Black Friday video, like the haul video, I'll leave it linked if you haven't seen it in the cards there, was like, curious what you didn't buy, like insinuating that I get a lot, which, you know, there's no insinuating about it. I did get a lot, but I tried to be selective, so there were things that I just didn't want at all during Black Friday, but these are things that I did want, and some of these I still do want, but I did not buy them, and kind of why. So I'm gonna scooch over just a little bit, so I'm gonna insert here kind of like pictures of things so you can see what it is as I'm talking about it. Salem is visiting us. He is clawing the crap out of my leg, which he always does when he wants attention, and that's my least favorite quality about him. But he just can't learn to ask for attention another way, I guess. Let's see if I can pull him up here for you guys to see. Here's Salem. He is the wild baby child. Salem is, how old are you now? 3? A little more than 3. He's sniffing my face. Here's Salem. We got him off of the literal street. He had an upper respiratory infection as a kitten and probably wasn't going to make it, so we took him in and got him some medicine, and now he's an ornery boy, aren't you? Yes. I think he smells my lipstick. The Melt lipstick's kind of scented. Alright, so first of all, I almost bought but didn't the Nimya palette, Nikki Tutorials brand. So the color story, it's basic, okay, but it's her brand's first palette. I understand you need maybe something that's more of a staple, but I'm curious in the formula, specifically the shimmers. I'm one of the people that really did like her collab with Beauty Bay. Love that palette, use it quite a bit even now. And yeah, I was curious to try this formula from her brand. But the shipping is what got me. It was gonna cost, because I think for Black Friday they were even doing 25% off the palette, even though it was a new launch. But the shipping was gonna cost as much as like the palette itself almost. I wasn't willing to do that, and honestly, I don't need another neutral palette in my life. I really don't. So maybe if they do free shipping or sale in the future, I'll get it. But it was pretty easy to pass up on that one with the cost of shipping, since it is not a US-based facility that they ship out of. Next up, there were 2 from Menagerie Cosmetics. I haven't bought from this brand in a while, and honestly, partly why I didn't buy this is because I have one palette from them that I bought and haven't used yet. So I was like, you haven't even used what you got from that brand, you know, why buy more? But the first one I was really curious to get was the Indigo Ink palette. When this first came out, I was like, ew, disgusting, ugly, about the color story, but it's kind of grown on me, and I don't know, the right part of it specifically gives me Melt Muerte vibes, which I did get that in the last restock they did of that, and I haven't used that either. So again, like, if I want that kind of vibe, I should probably use what I have. So I didn't get it, and it's admittedly like the multi-chromes I'm interested in this, which I think they sell as singles, so maybe I should just get the singles and forgo the whole palette. But between the fact that it kind of gave Muerte vibes, which I have already, and the fact that I have the Whale Song palette that I haven't used at all yet, it's in my pile of shame, it just made it so I was like, you know what, now's not the time, you need to pass up on this. And the other one that I was looking at from Menagerie, it wasn't even their new launches. Their Paws and Claws, whatever ones, those don't look that good to me, guys. And I haven't heard a lot of people rave about them either. But the redesign of the Killer Purr palette, I never got that one originally because I did think the shimmers were a little boring, meh, whatever. But this new design, they've added 4 new metallics, 3 are duochromes and 1 are a foil. They've deepened Mighty Roar and Cub and swapped out Pride for a peachy nude to complement the new shades. So I would be interested in that one. And yeah, I mean, some of the taupey brown green stuff, like I probably have stuff similar to that, but the shimmers look really, really nice. So That one again was more of a like, well, if I buy the Killer Per, then I'm gonna get the other one, just because it's like if I'm placing an order, like I might as well, if I'm, you know, paying for shipping, get everything. And I had already decided I needed to pass on the Indigo ink one, so I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna hold off on both of them and wait until I have at minimum used Muerte to see how that is, and used Whale Song, and then maybe whenever they have another sale or something in the future, I'll get those, because I don't think either of those are discontinued anytime soon, so I didn't feel like a rush to try them or whatever, but that's why I passed on them. Okay, next up from Game Beauty is the Cyberpunk palette. So I heard Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner say this recently, and I kind of agree with her. This whole thing of like, I'm more in love with the brand and the aesthetic than the formula, I think. Like, I have the original palette, the Adventure palette. I don't use it that much. I should. I didn't mind that one, but I've used the Victory palette the most, just because I traveled with it in Europe. And I've used the Harbinger palette, Harbinger, I never know how to say it. I think once or twice. It's just okay. It's not my favorite formula. And again, I did already get the Fantasy palette the last time they had a sale, and I haven't even used that one yet. And this one does have 3 shades that are blue, which is not my favorite. So 3 out of 10 shades that I was not super excited about. And then, you know, a formula that hasn't been overall my favorite, and a palette that I already have from that I haven't used. So yeah, again, it's just that I'm sure at some point I'll have Cyberpunk, just because I do have that collector's mentality with like, not everything from this brand, because their like Persona collab looks hideous to me, honestly. I have no interest in that whatsoever. But at least with that particular format of palette, I kind of want them all. But again, I already have stuff that I need to try and use and not add more, and it just came out, so it's not going to be discontinued anytime soon. Just didn't feel the rush on this one either, which ultimately that's a good thing. I don't think brands should be like rushing, pressuring. Like, I know that gets sales, but it's not very fun sometimes if you're trying to run the rat race. Like, you cannot and should not buy and own and use everything. Like, it's not possible. You don't need it. Okay, next up are 2 from Melt Cosmetics. So again, same problem. I guess I'm having a theme here where I already have a palette that I bought from them that I haven't used yet. So I couldn't really justify buying more from the brand when I haven't even tried what I have. But I was curious about the Smoke Sessions palette. I know people say this one is not good quality, but it's just the color story. It really intrigues me, so I do want to have it at some point. And the other one is the She's in Parties. That one I have actually heard really good things about, and it looks like a mauvey grungy dream. But again, I haven't even tried the Muerte yet, so I needed to hold off. They're doing, even right now, a 40% off sale. So actually what I did, I'm not gonna lie, I did place an order from Melt, but I didn't want to pay, even at the reduced price, it was still going to be like $30 some per palette. And so what I did was I bought not the Black Friday mystery box, those sold out quickly, but I bought one of the $25 December mystery boxes that's supposed to include a palette, and it was free shipping. So I spent $25, basically a gamble that hopefully I get Smoke Sessions or She's in Parties, because I do want those. There's plenty of palettes from Melt I don't have. Like, I wouldn't be mad if I got like the Mary Jane or the Brunette or something, but I think it's normally the smaller like Smoke Sessions size palettes that come in those mystery boxes. The last time I got Blueprint, and I like that a lot more than I ever thought I would. So we'll see what I get, and if I get a duplicate of a palette I already have, then you know what? I'm only like 12 subscribers away from 500. It's gonna go in the next giveaway if that happens. So stay tuned for that Melt mystery box unboxing that should be coming in the next couple weeks. But that's why I passed on those palettes. Yeah, didn't need them, didn't think the sale was good enough, have one I already tried, and did get the mystery box instead. Next up from Clionadh Cosmetics is the Dragon Fruit palette. So I love Clionadh Cosmetics, you guys. I wish they would do another mystery box. That was, I think, one of my favorite mystery boxes I've ever done. It gave me a chance to try some of their circle shadows and highlighters and things I hadn't from the brand, and their brushes. I really like the brush I got from them. And of course, their stained glass collection, right? So this, it's like, I think on sale it was like $45 still, but it didn't really look like any special shades. Like, they looked like highly reflective shimmers, but that's fine. Like, I have plenty of those. And like 4 or 5 of them all looked like the same orangey pink shade. They didn't look that different. They look highly reflective and shimmery and like nice for a fun summer one shade all over the lid thing. But I feel like I have plenty of that, and I just didn't think it was going to add anything special to my collection, which usually when I order from Clionadh, it is to get something special from their stained glass collection, something shifty and fun. So I've looked at it several times, I've watched tons of videos, I've looked at swatches, and they just don't seem that special to me. And I don't mean that as any shade to like the collaborator or the brand. Like, I think it's cool they did their first palette, but in all shimmer, just normal shimmers that aren't a duo or multi-chromes or anything. If I'm gonna get an all shimmer, I'd rather do like the Sugar Drizzle, the Trash palette that's about to come out. I'm interested in that. I'd rather do something like that. So this one is unlike the other ones. The other ones are all ones I passed on that I still want at some point. This one is one that I passed on that I'm like, I don't think I ever want it. Like, it's not just oh, I'll wait till I try more in my collection, or I'll wait till a better sale or anything. This is just plain a pass, all in all. Another one that's a total pass, because I don't think it's available anymore, is from It's Belle Cosmetics. I was really interested in the fall palette that they did, because it was all like special shifty shades, but the price was a lot, I'm sure because it was special shifty shades. But I've never tried this brand before, so I was just kind of scared to take the leap. And I already have brands, like I said, like Clionadh, like Sugar Drizzle, that have shifty formulas that I really do love, and I know I love them and I know what I'm getting, and I feel like are priced a bit cheaper than this, especially considering it's a 9 pan. So I just passed, partially because of the price, partially because I haven't tried the brand, and I didn't want to pay that much just to be like, oh, this is what this is type thing, you know? That's kind of the risk you run, I guess, the first time you try, especially an indie brand. But I just didn't want to run the risk, and I believe it was limited edition and it's gone now, so it's gone. I won't be getting it. It's not an option now. But it looked really pretty. I love jewel tones, and I don't feel like I have a ton of jeweled multi-chromes. I have some from Clionadh, maybe 2 or 3 shades, but not a ton of them. So this might be a brand I try in the future. I thought about doing a video talking about all of the brands I tried for the first time this past year and what I thought of them, and the brands that I would like to try next year upcoming. Let me know if you'd be interested in a video like that. I always think that's interesting to hear, like, why people waited so long to try a brand for the first time and what they thought when they finally did, or what brands are new that are coming out that they want to try. So that could be something for us to chat about as another date. But yeah, that one's gone forever. It's not gonna happen. All right, we've got 2 more from Viseart. This is one that, speaking of, a brand I've never tried that I would like to try. I really wanted their Violet Étendue, I don't know if that's how you say it, palette, the purple one. I have seen people talk about this for years, and these mattes look so dreamy. I love purple so much as an eyeshadow color, but this one again came to price. Even when it was 40% off, by the time you calculated in shipping and everything, I think it was gonna be $44. And I got so much already at Black Friday specifically. I mean, Nomad was my big order on Black Friday, but I got so many other things that by the point that I got to this, I was like, you know what? I have tons of purple and brown. Like, if I want to do a purple and brown look, I have plenty of stuff. The wine palette from Glamlight is lovely. The Bat palette from Menagerie, like they have browns and purples. I can do that no problem. I don't need another palette, so I was able to talk myself out of it for now. But it is a formula I would like to try, and they have some other palettes, some quads and some darker mattes and things like that that look so good that I would love to try this brand in the new year, but it just wasn't the time right now with everything else that I already got in, and knowing that I have brown and purple if I really want that in my collection. All right, and finally the last palette that I skipped on was Fantasy Cosmetica. So I did a video on their Druid palette, I'll leave it linked if you haven't seen it, that I loved. Such good quality, was really great. I think the shimmers did outshine the mattes by far though, if I do recall. And yeah, I passed up on the Sorcerer palette. I actually did get the Bard palette, not on Black Friday. Wes got me the Bard palette for Christmas, for my Christmas present, and I'm really excited to play with that one, so I'm sure you guys will see a video on that soon. But I passed up on the Sorcerer palette just because it did look, I don't know, it's just the blue. The blue threw me off and I was just like, I don't know. But I did recently watch Amy Loves Makeup do a video on this, and it looked beautiful, stunning, and it didn't really look like it leaned as far blue and crazy cobalt as I thought it would when she used that color. So again, this one's kind of like Game Beauty, where I love the theming so much that I feel like I'll become a collectionist in a way, no matter what the color story. But this one is different than Game Beauty because I actually think I like the formula. Well, I don't think. I do like the shimmer formula and stuff, at least from the one palette I tried, the Druid. Way better from Fantasy Cosmetica than I do from Game Beauty. The shimmers and the mattes are like, they're all just fine. I feel like formulas wise from Game Beauty. The shimmers from Fantasy Cosmetica are outstanding. So this one would definitely be higher up on my list, the Sorcerer palette, than the Cyberpunk palette from Game Beauty, if I had to pick like one gaming type thing. But to me they're also different gaming, because Game Beauty is more like video gaming and Fantasy Cosmetica is more like D&D gaming. There is a difference. So yeah guys, those are the 10 palettes that I recently looked at, but I didn't buy. Didn't get any of them. The only purchase I made out of all that was, like I said, the Melt mystery box that's on its way. So let me know guys in the comments down below, what do you guys think? Is there anything on that list that you've tried that you can maybe tell me if it would be worth it for my while in the future, or if like, no, you made the right choice, like you can pass, you don't need that type thing? Let me know in the comments down below, or let me know what you've been looking at but you kind of decided against as well. I would love to know, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye!